time cutter mowers as low as $29.99. Visit Sharp's Lawn Equipment in Statesville or visit us at sharpslawn.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Good morning, Lake Norman. Cornelius, Mayor Woody Washam, right here. It's a pleasure to be with you on this beautiful Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce Day. I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better than this. But I've got a great show for you today, and please know that we are about town with Small Business Thursday. It's exciting to be here with my friend Jim Vogel, Mr. Small Business of the Lake Norman community, and welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Mayor. It's good to be here as always. What a beautiful day today, and thanks for having such great guests today, too. We'll share that in a minute.
Absolutely, yeah. We got to make that introduction, but Jim, thank you for all you do for small business. That is a tough category for our business community, but I think if there's anywhere to thrive, it's around Lake Norman, don't you think?
I think so. It's just an amazing place to start a business, an amazing place to grow a business because it's, semi-retirement, lots of lake, lots of things to do here. It's accessible to going to the mountains, accessible to going to Charlotte. So it is an awesome place to live.
That is super. It really is. And we appreciate you coming in once a month now on the final Thursdays of each month to host this show with me and be my co-host and make it as good as it could get by introducing this great region to somebody that's pretty special every month. So we have had some great guests so far and look forward to a really, really cool one today. A guy that I have known, my goodness, I don't know how many years I've known Joe Carbon, but Joe is a special entity in this region. He's the ambassador or a ambassador at the Lake Norman Chamber and worked in that role for forever how long. So why don't you introduce Joe a little bit formally, Jim? I think you can do that better than me probably.
Well, I'll tell you, Joe is such a good guy, such a good friend. He's a regular at Lake Norman Small Business Network. He's also a constant force of energy with the Lake Norman Chamber. He's a two-time winner of the Chamber Ambassador of the Year award. In fact, fabulous. I think it's in his name, right? It's called the Joe Carbon Ambassador of the Year.
Correct.
Fantastic. And your energy, your involvement. I mean, I got to call you Mr. Lake Norman. It's just amazing that you have time to come and talk to us and share some of the fun stuff. I mean, you're from Yonkers, New York, and maybe some people don't know where Yonkers is. You can share that, but I know they'll know by your accent, what you got going on. And of course, you got some interesting hobbies, but most importantly, you really help our small businesses and our solopreneurs get comfortable in networking situations, whether it's the Chamber or our Lake Norman Small Business Network. So I'm hoping we can chat about that a little bit too.
Absolutely. And Joe, you've got a pretty special small business in this community. You have owned and operated for quite some time with your lovely wife, Terry, at your side. Tell us a little bit about your small business in this community.
We own good old-fashioned auto repair, or GoFar for short. People know us as the guardian angels of automotive service because
wow.
we're always watching over their shoulder, trying to make sure that their best interests are always looked out for. We do everything and anything relating to your car, from your basic oil change, major mechanical, paint and body, transmission, whatever our customers need, we do it all. But bottom line is, sometimes there's an old saying that we came up with, which is sometimes it's hard to remember which one they were first. Were they a customer that started out as a customer and became a friend and part of our family, or were they a friend that became a customer? Sometimes it's hard to remember which one came first, the chicken or the egg.
Well, you do a lot of things in a special way within your business, don't you? You do things just a little bit different. So tell us about that. What makes you different?
Well, first and foremost, because we're always looking out for our customers' best interest, on the average twice a month, I have what we call a come to Jesus conversation with one of our customers, where and this particular one is a true story. So Woody, you're driving a 15-year-old Dodge Caravan with 250,000 miles on it, and you're facing a $3,000 to $4,000 transmission overhaul. I ask myself, what comes next? What can I do to talk you out of spending money on this vehicle and get you into something else that spends more time in your garage than it does mine?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I realize that's talking myself out of a lot of business, but it's the right thing to do. And quite often, it's why people call me for a second opinion and have no intentions of doing business with me, but somebody they've been working with for many years has just shot them a price that they're not comfortable with, and they want to get my take on it.
Awesome. That is awesome. And you actually go pick these cars up, don't you?
That's correct. Everything we do is completely by pickup and delivery, and it serves a lot of purposes, but more so than anything, convenience. Your time is more valuable than running around sitting in somebody's showroom. And the second is that it also allows me to be able to road test that vehicle and make sure that I get a keen understanding of what needs to be done. What does the car feel like? Which there are things that a customer driving their car, they just tune into it, they get used to it, they don't even realize it's there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just part of the big program that we do.
So how do people find you, Joe? I mean,
Uh,
how you're out and about everywhere. So how, if they need some service on their cars, how do they locate you?
I just go to seems like Google keeps sending me new people all the time.
Good.
They just Google shops in Mooresville and good old fashioned auto repair pops up and they can go to our website. I always encourage people who've never used this before, go to our website at goforguardianangels.com and get a little more comfortable with how we work and how we do business and what we can do for our customers. A lot of people don't realize we do full-blown restorations on vehicles.
Didn't know
That's
that.
a growing part of our business. But more important than anything, there's a section there called customer testimonials. I
Mm-hmm.
always encourage people to go there because lots of pictures with customers and our customer family. And see a little bit what our customers have to say. That's more important. That speaks more than anything I could ever say. But I got to warn you, make a pot of coffee because you're going to be there a long time.
Awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So what brought you to this? How long have you been in the Lake Norman community, first of all, and what brought you here?
This is 34 years.
Wow,
This
long
year.
time.
Yeah, as of end of this January, 34 years. I came here pursuing a career as a NASCAR driver. That never happened.
That is quite a story. That is quite a story. So that was 34 years ago.
Mhm.
What did you do after that?
Well, after the first year, when I figured out it was going to take a lot of money to become a NASCAR driver, none of which I had to basically punt and go back to what I grew up doing, which was working in the automotive business. And I started my own, and very similar to what I do now. And this past year, 2023, we were 23 years in business with good old fashioned auto repair.
23.
Yep,
Wow.
Yep.
That is incredible. Quite a success story there. That's truly awesome. But I think this relationship you have in our community and with your customers and prospects is horrendous. It really is, and you're really to be congratulated for that. And I think that's certainly your byproduct that folks seek you out for. So that truly makes a difference. Now you've done a little racing along the way. Every once in a while, I see things pop up. You still do any?
I still am an active racer. Not as much as I was doing before COVID.
Gotcha.
But last year, we finally got back to. I race motocross primarily. I do a little bit of kart racing from time to time, but mostly motocross.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to have a short break, Joe, and we'll be right back.
Morning sunshine and upper 70s round out our work week. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Greystone Lodge in Boone.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Alabama's Austin Bohannon plays a local concert tour beginning Thursday with Langtree Live in Mooresville on May 30th. Event time is 6:30 p.m. with the concert powered by Waves Entertainment beginning at 7. Bohannon then plays Friday on the Birkdale Village stage with the Live Under the Oaks concert series. Back-to-back free music beginning on Thursday at Langtree in Mooresville and then Friday at Birkdale Village in Huntersville. Blankets and chairs are welcome for both Austin Bohannon shows. The Kane Center for the Arts welcomes Philip Hamrick on Friday for his album release celebration. The singer-songwriter from Mooresville releases his first solo album as an independent artist with The Tunnel Club. Hamrick's personal stories are delivered through vocals and acoustics. Doors open at 7 p.m. with Hamrick's The Tunnel Club album release celebration at 8 p.m. on Friday. For tickets, more information on this show and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks has expanded to Broad Street and Main Street, and this Saturday serves up gourmet fare. Bring chairs, bring friends, and delight in over 15 food trucks from around the area. Listen to live music from Billy Jones in the Pocket, stroll the streets, and shop. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks begins at 5 p.m. on Saturday. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series is back at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The first practice night is on Tuesday, June 4th, with the 10-week series opening night race on June 10th. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Now, more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
And we're back. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam here for our next segment with Small Business Thursday. This happens the last Thursday of every month, and my co-host today, Mr. Jim Vogel, who is Mr. Small Business in the Lake Norman community. All of you small businesses know Jim, and he's helped about every one of you. So thanks for another great session today. Jim, glad you're back, and we've got a superstar in our community as a guest today, and that would be Mr. Joe Carbon. So we were just talking about Joe's very special business that he has owned and operated for 23 years, Joe?
20 years.
20 years. And pretty incredible story there. So, you know, Joe, you had some obstacles along the way a little bit that have given you some challenges. And I think I got to know you as pretty much the miracle man through those particular times. Had a bout with pancreatic cancer and survived it. And I knew you were going to survive it. There was never a doubt in my mind because I knew you weren't done. You absolutely were not done yet. And you certainly were not done because here you are. Here you still sit as active as ever. And, you know, you went through a lot during those times, but you came out on the other side. So tell us a little bit about that and how you got through this business cycle that was allowed your business to continue even through those times.
Well, this July 6th will be 15 years, and this is what we've learned to call it tongue-in-cheek, I'm Not Dead Day. 15-year pancreatic cancer survivor. I am the luckiest guy on the planet.
You are.
There is no reason why I should still be sitting here right now, but for whatever reason, I have been given the opportunity to live on and carry on because apparently I still got stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been busy doing every bit of that. And I would say probably about when I survived the operation, my wife said to me, "We're going to start something new here. It's going to be called Making Memories Tour."
Mm-hmm.
And part of that Making Memories Tour was a motto I came up with, which is, I plan for the worst, I hope for the best, and I live my bucket list every day. Making Memories Tour has been, the bucket list has been a big part of doing just that, and we still continue to today. But honestly, the Making Memories Tour happens every single day of my life. I get to wake up in this neighborhood and live my life like so many other people in the world do not get to do. A big part of it is because of the community of Lake Norman that I live in. I don't know that I could do this anywhere else but here. This Lake Norman is a totally different place than anywhere else you'll ever live in a lifetime. And being from New York, I can tell you been my experience
Oh,
having grown up there.
that's awesome. And you had what stage of pancreatic cancer did you have? It was pretty advanced, wasn't it?
I'm not sure they actually ever told me exactly what it was, but I'm guessing it was probably stage 3. um, I had problem. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. The first, let's see, my surgery was July 6th of 2009, and I started having problems on Thanksgiving Day 2008. So it took till the end of May of 2009 for them to finally figure out what was wrong with me. And I literally went from hero to zero in a month. Had to get all of my ducks in a row, make a will, make my plans, here I am.
And we're glad you're here. And man,
I'm glad
that should,
I'm here.
I know you are, and I know Terry is as well. But that ought to give a lot of hope. There's a lot of folks that have been stricken with cancer, and there is hope now. There is hope. The medical treatments and community are very different now, even when you went through what you went through. But it's quite a story of survival, if you will, in many many ways, and it's certainly very intriguing to hear that, and I think it provides a lot of hope for a lot of people. And you've been a mentor to a lot of folks along the way too, that have been involved with this, and that's also to me why you're such a hero as well. So, how many folks have you talked to? I know I've sent a couple to you.
Well, what got me started was another fellow chamber member who went through a different type of cancer, and he told me about an organization, national organization called Immerman Angels, and what they do is pair you with people who have the same specific cancer that you had. And so obviously I handle all pancreatic cancer survivors. I want to say I've probably had 20 or 30, and that's just there. And then other people that have been referred to me from within the Lake Norman community, Florida, people up here, but no people in Florida. And it's my blessing to be able to have this opportunity to pass it forward, being that I got so lucky. And anything I can do to help others go forward, which is kind of sort of how my organization HOT came to be in the first place, and which stands for helping others help themselves. And that's part of being a mentor is you can't do it for them, but you can help them help themselves. So being a cancer mentor of anybody that has any kind of cancer, not just pancreatic, is a blessing for me to be able to be part of helping them through that process, if at all possible.
Gotcha. Well, that's pretty incredible. You know, we got really two heroes in this room today because Jim Vogel has done that
Yes,
to a great extent as well with prostate cancer. And, we're not going to dwell on that, Jim.
But
at the same
get that
time,
PSA tested, gentlemen. If you're over 40, it's about time you do it every 6 months. I try to be a spokesperson too for prostate cancer. We have a Facebook page, Prostate Cancer Awareness USA, and a lot of people from all over the country are on it. We share all the challenges. But you're right; it's very, very important to communicate to others that it'll be okay. That you can move forward, and we're there to help you.
Right.
Extremely important.
So 2 great survivors in this room. Bless your heart.
2 lucky survivors.
There you go.
Yeah.
2 lucky
That's-
survivors.
We're very lucky.
Absolutely.
Anybody who calls me a hero, I can't take responsibility for that. I'm just lucky.
I understand. I understand. But it wasn't a picnic you went
No.
through. Neither one of you.
No.
And here you are. And boy, how lucky we are. I
Yeah.
guess I should
Thank
say
you.
that
Thank
you're
you.
sitting
On
here.
a lighter note, we got to get focused on what he does best, I think, and that's networking for the chamber and for the Lake
We
Norman Small
do.
Business Network.
Yeah.
He is our number one fan. When somebody brand new comes into either organization, he's there to put his arm around them. He's always going to grab a cup of coffee with them and share with them the positives of how we do it. Because guess what? Networking is netting success through work, and it's not easy. It's almost like an illness when you have a small business because you got to keep giving it medicine and keep getting it better and keep doing things to improve the
Massaging
health of that business. And people don't realize when they start out that it's much more than they think it is, right? I tell people, don't follow your passion. And they look at me like I'm crazy. But don't follow your passion. Follow what you're good at first and then bolt your passion to it. And that's when the money comes. But you gotta not think passion first. Think how you can monetize your skills. And then it becomes a very simple passion.
Absolutely. And so, Joe, you are the epitome of service to the chamber and your fellow members there. So, other than, I guess, part of your recovery back when, what do you get out of that? Why do you do that?
Free food.
Well, there is free food, good free food,
You can
Okay,
eat yourself
so-
through a membership.
and it's not drink because Joe doesn't drink.
Not anymore. No, I did give that up. But Bill Russell always tries to make a point of a saying that I came up with over many years of when we're at various chamber events, especially new member receptions. The thing is that you've got to look at being a chamber member as an opportunity. People come to me and they say, how do I know if my involvement is sufficient in the Lake Norman Chamber? Well, the average chamber membership for 5 or less is $295. Everywhere you go, there's free food and drink. If you can't eat and drink your chamber membership in 3 to 6 months, you're doing something wrong.
There you go. There you go. And there's great payback for
Mhm.
that involvement, I think.
Yeah,
So
I never miss a meal.
you don't miss a meal, and really you don't miss an opportunity to socialize with great people. It's a little different now. I think the way the chamber goes about business and the way we all go about business has certainly been an evolution for us. I know the way I deal with being a banker over 50 years has really changed. So anyway, we've got a lot more to talk about today, and we're going to get into some more special memories and moments in just a minute. But this is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we're about town with small business today, and we'll be right back.
There's more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on the way from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, I don't think any of us are complaining about summer heat and humidity taking a little bit of a hiatus through the upcoming weekend. Still comfortable with that low humidity. We'll have plenty of sunshine and high temperatures up around 80 for this afternoon. Tonight we'll cool it back off into the upper 50s. Outlying spots and farms likely waking up to mid-50s by the time you get into Friday morning. Sunshine and upper 70s round out our work week. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Does your business provide coffee for employees or customers? Black Powder Coffee can supply you with fresh roasted coffee, a variety of daily signature blends including flavored coffees such as cinnamon roll and Kahlua and cream. We even have bourbon-infused coffee in collaboration with Southern Distilling Company. Visit blackpowdercoffee.com or stop by and see us at 261 Rolling Hill Road in Mooresville. Black Powder Coffee.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Fernhill Baptist Church is a traditional fundamental congregation located in Troutman. Hear them Sunday mornings at 8:15 here on WSIC. Listen on demand, WSICFM.com.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A tale of two retailers. For Kohl's, it's the worst of times. Shares falling 25% today after the chain posted an unexpectedly big drop in first quarter sales, adding up to a spectacular miss on earnings as shoppers refuse to pay full price for stuff. Kohl's says clearance sales declined last quarter, but today its website is advertising some items with price cuts of as much as 85%. Best of times for Foot Locker. Its shares are jumping as much as 30% today thanks to a profit for last quarter, almost double what analysts were looking for. Comparable sales slipped nearly 2%, but that was better than expectations as Foot Locker's turnaround strategy appears to be working. Slower retail sales help explain today's revision to first quarter U.S. economic growth. The Bureau of Economic Analysis now says GDP rose 1.3% instead of the prior estimate of 1.6% as personal spending weakened. Wall Street's taking another trip south, Dow losing 1%, NASDAQ down 0.2%, S&P 500 down 0.5%. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
It's About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
And we're back. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam here. And we've got a special show going today that we do every last Thursday of the month, and that would be our About Town series with Small Business Thursday. And it's a pleasure to do that to support our small business in this great community. That's the bulk of business in our community is small business. So thank you, Jim, for co-hosting once more. And we've got an exciting guest with us today, Mr. Joe Carbon. And you know, we've talked about a lot of history here going on and a lot of Joe's service to the chamber. And, you know, that reminds me of service. And it's been a tough week for me in that we've lost one of our wonderful public servants in this town. And I can't go without talking about Mr. Jim Duke for just a moment. And, you know, service is service, and different folks provide different kinds of service, you know, to our community. But, you know, Jim Duke was one of those special people that that certainly meant a lot to me, and I think you guys knew Jim as well. He was a card. He really was. Very, very special guy, but totally committed through his neighborhood organization. You know, I've seen and heard stories about Jim parked on the side of the road picking up trash, making his community beautiful for on and on. And I can remember a time in a town board meeting that one of the crepe myrtles that are so beautiful in their entrance to the peninsula area had been trimmed wrong. You know, you got to cut those things back every once in a while. So think the town was out doing their job and taking care of that. And it was, I mean, they caught pure heck from Jim Duke because of the way that crepe myrtle was trimmed. And also, we've had to lose a couple because of some road construction and things like that. And you would hear from Jim Duke when things like that would be impacted. But special man, cared a lot for this town. I didn't know Jim until 2013 when I ran for office for the first time. Uh, I think Jim was a little suspect of me because I didn't live in the peninsula and still do not live in the peninsula. But Jim did, and he was dedicated to his community and certainly represented entirety of Cornelius. So his job was to plug me into the peninsula and help me know more people there. My job was to plug him into the rest of the town as a native here. I knew a lot of folks across that interstate. So we spent a lot of time together talking about wonderful topics like Smithfield community, uh, things that would serve the east side, like the Kane Center for the Arts. And Jim was instrumental with me in actually developing the Kane Center and kicking that off and getting that moving. And in addition to that, he had very special relationships that he developed in the North Catawba neighborhood and neighborhoods throughout town. So, very special guy. I'll miss him. I sat beside him for years. Brought him into Rotary when we first got to know each other. Sat beside me every meeting, every Wednesday that he could get there, except toward the end he couldn't get there. And we had a special catch-up time. That was my relationship with Jim in the 3 terms he served, along with the terms that I have served. So we were also seat mates at the dais over at Town Hall, and very, very, very special guy. And my condolences certainly to the family. So you guys knew Jim as well, didn't you?
Yeah, he was one of the gentlemen that when he spoke, you listened.
Exactly.
And there's many people who are speaking, maybe in public life, that you just don't want to listen. That man, you listened because you learned from him. His focus on the environment, his focus on Cornelius, his focus on small business was impeccable. And he's someone that belongs in heaven, and I hope that he can help up there as well.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I think he got to some of the chamber events too, didn't he, Joe?
Yeah, I did. But I also had a one-on-one with him many years ago and got to know him, and it was a very pleasurable experience. So
his background was just astounding. His military background, and I know he's going to be buried with all the military honors coming up, and just quite a story to tell, and certainly he'll be missed. But he certainly had the heart of the servant as a servant, as the folks in this room with me right now have also those hearts of a servant too. So we were talking about Joe Carbon's involvement in the Chamber of Commerce and the small business arena, and Joe, that it goes without saying that you've been so impactful in those areas. And how many coffees do you have with people? I know I've had multiple ones with you over the years, and that's kind of how our relationship took off and built up over the years. And we've had some pretty serious life conversations along the way, and I didn't listen to you much, but anyway, just kind of kept going. And you did the same though. You did the same because it's important to enjoy what you do, and I know you do, don't you?
Well, I've had hundreds of one-on-ones. I'm not sure how many I've had with you, but I tell you all the time that you're my mentor.
Oh, wow.
From the day you became the chamber president, our chamber president, because you've been other presidents, I'm sorry, not president, but chairman on a board, number of different places over the years. So I figured I'd learn from the best. So I always looked forward to sitting there and having a cup of coffee with you and learning from the master.
Well, that means a lot coming from you, and you've said that to me multiple times, and I'm grateful to you. That I don't deserve. I don't deserve that. I don't think, but
All true.
but I'm grateful to you because you keep me going there. There's things aren't always easy when you work with nonprofits and organizations like the chamber. You get into certainly business discussions and all sorts of things that have um, that represent some tough times for those organizations. But you keep on keeping on, and that's just what we do, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely what we do. So, Jim, what do you think about Joe and his contribution? Not only to small business, but this community. I know you're pretty high on the man, right?
Oh yeah, we only put great people on the show.
We do.
And
we do.
I'll tell you, Joe is right up there. He's invaluable to the new people that come into our networking opportunity. And it's funny, is out there, usually I'm the first one to greet them.
Yes.
And because they're walking in like, and I explain this is, a very informal environment. And then Joe takes over basically and invites them for coffee and kind of takes it on to make sure that they're comfortable. I think that you can't get anything done in life unless you're comfortable working with the other person.
Exactly.
And you got to have to. You can't do it yourself. I'm sorry. No man's an island's a bunch of junk, right? You got to have people to help people. And Joe really is that epitome of that.
Well, that's super. We were talking during the break a minute ago about all these hats he wears. Joe, tell us about that. Where's that coming from?
Okay, well, so the short is that my dad was served in the Army in Korea.
Yes.
I never served, but I wear a different hat each week in honor of all of our military branches and a few special hats of special forces and others in Korea, veterans and Vietnam veterans, in honor of all of them. But the way it got started in the first place is, I used to see, I'd be walking through Walmart parking lot and I would see veterans with these hats on. And so I started somebody said, hey, you see a vet, go shake their hand and thank them for their service. So I started doing this many years ago. As a matter of fact, it's around maybe year 2 of when Small Business Network started, and I became part of that. So one day I was standing at the ABC store when I still consumed alcohol. And there was this vet in front of me, and clearly had ridden on a Harley because he had his leathers with his Marines team on the back, long hair and a ponytail. And I tapped him on the shoulder and said, thank you. And he turned around and I thanked him for his service. And he shook his hand and he looked at me like I was crazy and walked out the door. And I looked at the girl behind the counter and we both said, man, that was really strange, wasn't it? Before I could get out the door, he came walking back inside and apologized to me. Says, I'm sorry the way I treated you, but I have never been thanked for my service. The welcoming we got back when we got off the plane from Vietnam was anything but. So thank you for thanking me. And I thought, how many other vets are there out there like that? So this is a reminder to all of us that when you see a vet, just take a minute and say thank you. We get to do what we do every day because of it.
Absolutely. Well, we just made it through a great Memorial Day and had a great Memorial Day program here in the town of Cornelius, and I'm very, very proud of that. We had a great turnout at Kane Center this year, probably 300 or so people honoring those veterans. So this is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we'll be right back.
We'll be back with more of About Town, hosted by Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, straight ahead on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, I don't think any of us are complaining about summer heat and humidity taking a little bit of a hiatus through the upcoming weekend. Still comfortable with that low humidity. We'll have plenty of sunshine and high temperatures up around 80 for this afternoon. Tonight we'll cool it back off into the upper 50s. Outlying spots and farms likely waking up to mid-50s. By the time you get into Friday morning, sunshine and upper 70s round out our work week. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Alabama's Austin Bohannon plays a local concert tour beginning Thursday with Langtree Live in Mooresville on May 30th. Event time is 6:30 p.m. with the concert powered by Waves Entertainment beginning at 7. Bohannon then plays Friday on the Birkdale Village stage with the Live Under the Oaks concert series. Back-to-back free music beginning on Thursday at Langtree in Mooresville and then Friday at Birkdale Village in Huntersville. Blankets and chairs are welcome for both Austin Bohannon shows. The Kane Center for the Arts welcomes Philip Hamrick on Friday for his album release celebration. The singer-songwriter from Mooresville releases his first solo album as an independent artist with The Tunnel Club. Hamrick's personal stories are delivered through vocals and acoustics. Doors open at 7 p.m. with Hamrick's The Tunnel Club album release celebration at 8 p.m. on Friday. For tickets, more information on this show and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks has expanded to Broad Street and Main Street, and this Saturday serves up gourmet fare. Bring chairs, bring friends, and delight in over 15 food trucks from around the area. Listen to live music from Billy Jones and the Pocket, stroll the streets, and shop. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks begins at 5 p.m. on Saturday. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series is back at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The first practice night is on Tuesday, June 4th, with the 10-week series opening night race on June 10th. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
We're back with more of About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Hello, Lake Norman. This is Jim Vogel with my co-host now, Joe Carbon. The mayor had to scoot, and I'm back on just by myself. So, Mayor, I'm in trouble now, right? But I wanted to share some community things that are going on as well, Joe. As you know, we do the Lake Norman Community Blood Drive. That's today from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock, right behind Cool Fish in Antiquity, 21726 Catawba. Please come as a walk-in. You can't sign up now. They closed that this morning. But I plan on leaving here and going to give blood, and I'm hoping that you all can do that. There's a serious shortage of blood here in the Lake Norman community. Also want to mention and touch base, and Joe, you can help me with this, Jack Stevens, who is probably one of my biggest heroes. When I first met Jack, it was talking with him for over a year by phone because I was in the Triangle moving to here, and he was here and wanted me as a member. And of course I joined right away, even 11 months before I moved. And every single time that Jack mentions a Lake Norman chamber membership, he also mentions that we are the Lake Norman Small Business Network and that we meet over here at Weekly Wednesday here at H2. So every time that there's a new member, they also get known about the LK and SBN. Tell us what's going on right now with Jack. I know he's had some health situations of late.
He has. But I got some great news. I think it was yesterday or the day before that he was up and walking around and doing much better, and that he was actually coming home today. And wow, we're just overwhelmed with I tell you, that guy has 90 years old. That guy has 100 lives, and I'm not sure how many he's used, but he is just another lucky guy like me. Okay, just so glad he's still here with us.
Yeah, he is a great guy. I'll tell you. If you're out there, Jack and Vicky, you're continually in our prayers. We really appreciate you every single day for all you've done, both of you.
Well, one time before he retired from the chamber, he was known as the face of the chamber, literally.
He is.
Mhm.
When you think the chamber, you think
Of
Jack
Jack.
Stevens.
Yep.
Absolutely. Anyway, you do some things on a Thursday, right? You go into Mooresville, and tell us a little bit about that. It involves veterans.
Well, as I had mentioned before, that I do work as a mentor for Immerman Angels around the country. But I got to thinking, what more could I do here? How could I duplicate that right here in my own backyard? And I got to thinking one day, well, I'm wearing the hats already. You know what? There are vets that are probably suffering from all kinds of cancer, from Agent Orange and everything that they went through during their deployments. Just because I deal with pancreatic cancer more often does not mean that I can't help them with whatever form of cancers they have. So that kind of start is how Hot started out. Hot Evolution started out helping at Richard's Coffee Shop by volunteering my time to the vets. But some of that changed into, I got to thinking, you know, there's a lot of PTSD that's happening that they're going through. Sometimes they just need somebody to talk to, or maybe they just need a friend. Maybe they don't really want to talk, but maybe they just need a friend with a happy, smiling face, wanting to have somebody to connect with. So every Thursday morning, I typically go up there and I just shake hands, make friends, be there, get to know some of them. I know most of them by name now. Been doing this probably 6-7 years. It's one of the highlights of my week every week.
Joe, that's wonderful. And as you know, Memorial Day weekend really does remember those that fought for us and didn't make it home. And freedom is not free.
It's not.
You look at what's going on everywhere in the world today. It's an unsafe place. But you and I are quite comfortable here in Lake Norman because we're so blessed to be in America. And it's just a really, really awesome experience to be an American. And I think we kind of forget about that over the hot dogs and the beers at Memorial Day weekend. It's very, very important that we continue to think about those that served and those that are serving. And we certainly, if you're out there, thank you so much for all that you do. It's just wonderful. Now, Joe, I'm going to tap you on the LK and SBN because, as you know, the Lake Norman Small Business Network is celebrating its 10th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe 10 years? Honest to goodness. We'll be celebrating a big thing over at H2 Public House end of September, early October. I don't have a date yet, but 70% of our businesses across the lake are small business or solopreneur. 70%. We have hundreds of businesses from 115 all the way to 73 just on what we call Main Street, Lake Norman, Catawba Avenue, right? We're the power of the people. If we sat home and didn't do anything today, our roads would be clear, nobody would be in school, businesses would be empty, because that's how important our businesses are that are small, because there's nothing small about small business, right, Joe?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The opportunity to be out there and be a mom and pop in our neighborhood, network with your friends and neighbors, and quite often that always turns into new business. I've always said, when you come to one of these networking events, don't sell, just come make a new friend. That's your entire reason for being there. Go out and make new friends. If you've done a good job of that, the business will take care of itself, and I've been proven that's true for 20 years.
That's right. Networking is sharing and telling, not bearing and selling. It's just not that. And it's important to know that when you're at any level of networking, you're brand new, you're experienced, always ask that new person why they do what they do, not what they do. We already got their business card in their pocket, right? Why do you do what you do? And tell me about yourself, and then be quiet.
Right.
And guess what? Those individuals are now center stage and very comfortable sharing about themselves. The sweetest words on the planet are your name. So we just want to continue to follow up on that. We pay attention to people in a positive way, and we involve them in what we do. It's not who you know, it's not what you know, it's who knows you. So we want to really make sure that we remember all the new people. We remember all the people who have been around, and we never, ever, ever leave the house without a smile on our face. Right? I mean, I think you do the same thing, right, Joe?
Absolutely. Who wants to see an unhappy person and listen to them complain?
Well, I hear it all the time. Just watch the local news, right? Or watch the regular public news. But there's people out there that we don't know about small business. People that have a pile of clipboards on their dashboard. People that are sitting in a coffee shop. People that are sitting in their kitchen or their basement working. We want to know who you are. Please go to lknsbn.com. Please use lknsbn@yahoo.com to email us. Let us know who you are. We want to help you. We want to, more importantly, serve you. And both Joe and I know that being a servant leader is the most important thing any of us can ever be. Because then when we're up there and he asks us questions, I'm going to say, I tried to do a good job, God. I was honest. I did. So, that is really impactful when we do that, isn't it, Joe?
Or show up on a Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock at H2 Public House and introduce yourself to us. Or if we see you standing over in the corner by yourself, not saying a word, we'll probably come find you.
That's right.
And make you introduce yourself to us.
That's right. There are no strangers, just like there are no rules. So you can come later if you want to. You can come earlier if you want to. We have complimentary coffee, complimentary waters, all from H2 Public House, the best roof you ever want. There's drinks and great bar food and awesome things to do every night, whether it's poker, specials every day. H2 Public House is the place to go if you really, really want to know good food and good fun. So we really appreciate Josh and Jess and all those guys there. Thank you so much if you're listening, guys. We really appreciate H2 Public House.
I'm going to thank him next Wednesday. I'm meeting one of my ambassadors over there for lunch.
Yes.
I'm going to find out what a smash burger is. I've never had one of those.
Oh, you're going to love it. And on Wednesdays, it's a special on Wednesdays.
Okay.
So
I picked the right day.
You picked the right day for Smash Burger Wednesday.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun. But anyway, really appreciate you being here, Joe. And any last thoughts on what's going on and how you're doing? And
well, I appreciate
say hi to Terry for us.
Sure
your
will.
Wonderful wife. She's just awesome.
I appreciate you having me. I always enjoy having an opportunity to just be involved with anything within our community. Lake Norman is awesome. And as you were starting to say, and I'll just elaborate a little bit on it, we get to spend our life in a wonderful place like this, living free every day. And it's thanks to our military that has our back, that allows us to be able to live free and do the things that we do. And I'm grateful every day for that. And I encourage other people to do the same and be part of all of that.
Thank you. Now, from Statesville to Charlotte and back to Lake Norman, nobody's better than Bill, that engineer. Let's give him the big high five. Really appreciate all you do, sir. He's the one that makes us good.
Absolutely.
And we really, really appreciate it. Have yourself a great rest of the week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7, WSIC, Statesville, Mooresville,